If you're just tuning in, this is Democracy and the Rule of Law. Let's go to our third topic for discussion. Still on security, unfortunately. Insurgents believed to be members of Boko Haram have hoisted their flag in part of Mate local government in Borno State, according to military sources. The insurgents repeatedly attacked the local government within the week. On Friday, the insurgents attacked neighboring Dikwa local government, but they were repelled by a combined effort of the airborne component and ground forces of Operation Lafia Dole in a battle that lasted hours, according to sources. Meanwhile, the attack dislodged many residents of Dikwa who fled into bushes to take refuge. The insurgents laid an ambush for the reinforcement deployed from the Theatre Command headquarters located in Maiduguri. I don't know where to start from again. It's one security issue or another. It was majorly Boko Haram, and then the Niger Delta twin, battle, and it looks like the Boko Haram died down a little. The Niger Delta, after the amnesty, we've not really heard much from them, and it's been herdsmen crisis, for like a year now, and it looks like Boko Haram beginning to think, okay, looks like these herdsmen, they're getting the headlines away from us, so let's come back. And we had like little pockets of operation here and there, and they're at it again, hoisting their flag. Let me have you.
Well, honestly, I am not surprised that they are hoisting their flag. Each time I see the men of the Nigerian army and the other security forces come out and begin to beat their chests that they have degraded Boko Haram, I always laugh. Why do I laugh? It gives me the impression that these people are not conversant with the history of guerrilla warfare or the war of attrition that we have found in our hands today. This kind of war has been going on in Guatemala for about 50 years. The war in Afghanistan has been going on there for more than 30 years and all that. And you also know even Ethiopia too, it has been a protracted, in fact, as we are speaking now, the war is still going on in Ethiopia. When people are disenchanted with a system, and you are not tackling the root of that disenchantment, the possibility that you will ever have security in that environment is very, very near. Let me give, for example, the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is crisis started because the people over there were feeling cheated. And know that you dig in oil in there, use it to build Abuja, use it to build super highways in Lagos, use it to build super highway between Abuja and Kaduna and what have you, and you leave the whole area polluted and all that. And when the people agitate, you run them up like they did Kensarorua, organize a kangaroo trial, and you send the man to the Gado. If we were a responsible nation and all that, we shouldn't have allowed the Niger Delta environment to be polluted because we wanted to dig out. We shouldn't be flaring gas because there are some countries of the world until you have made provisions as regards how you are going to use the different components of what come from petroleum and other. They never allow you to dig it. Nigeria will be the only nation in which you just take in the hydrocarbon and then leave the gas there to be burning and heating up the environment of the people. What if when we were digging this oil, we have made provision for massive housing projects for the people of the Niger Delta? We give them houses free. Build massive houses.
Let's just hope the PIB will solve.
All right, okay, we hope so. Then we leave that area. We abandon them. Then you are now talking about the Boko Haram. The truth of the matter is this. The people in the northern part of the country, even those who are not actively carrying AK-47 now to prosecute the Boko Haram war, don't believe in the secularity of the Nigerian state. They say they want a theocratic state. They want a caliphate, just like you have in some of these other places. That is why you find out up till now, people are still being condemned and then condemned to death for blasphemy. People, beer bottles are destroyed. Zamfara State to budget millions of naira to build mosque, 100 mosques all over the states and all that. Whereas the constitution says, look, no state, no federal government is allowed to adopt any religion as a state religion. If you are going to tackle the history of the Boko Haram in the northern part of the country and all that, we must address this fundamental issue. of the secularity of the Nigerian state. If the northern people say they will not embrace the secularity of the Nigerian state, let us also conduct a referendum in there. And let them go there separately and have whatever caliphate they want to have in there. And if that is not going to be the case, then the Nigerian army, have they adopted the right strategy in their approach to this war? The answer is no. I laughed one time, they said they were building a super camp. You are engaged in a guerrilla warfare, and then the army now say they are building the super camp. As far as I'm concerned, a super camp is just a sleeping tent where you sit in there and then become a lame dog for your enemy to be picked up. A guerrilla warfare is a fleeting war. It's moving from one point to the other almost on every minute and another. And that is why the Boko Haram are happy, a happy heart. But the time you suggest, why don't the Air Force go and bombard them and all that? Is it not people that are stationary, that are sedentary, that will bombard? Most times, even when the Boko Haram, and this is my own guess, when they want to carry out an operation, they probably are living in cities and villages and all that. They communicate among themselves, assembled at a point where they will take a departure and then do their attack. And as soon as they do the attack, they disperse back to their respective places, whether bunkers that have been built somewhere or villages that nobody will even know they are members of Boko Haram.
Okay, let me go to Ibadan, where Barrister Mercy is on. What do you think about Boko Haram hoisting their flag in part of Borno local government? What does this signify to you, briefly? Because running against time, seriously.
I think, however we look at it, I think it's an unfortunate situation. I think the past service chiefs that were just discharged, they have always maintained this position that no part of Borno state is under the control of Boko Haram. That no local government and by extension no city, no town in Borno state is under the control of Boko Haram. But it's unfortunate that recently we have seen or heard situations where Boko Haram now hoist their flag within the Borno state, maybe some towns and all that. I think that is an unfortunate thing, that to say that Boko Haram have successfully taken control or now in charge of those towns where their flags are hosted, and that is unacceptable within the Nigerian state. I think that is a challenge to the Nigerian government and the security apparatus, and also most especially the newly appointed service chiefs, to ensure and to make sure that the remnants of Boko Haram, wherever they may be, are flushed out within the state and not even the whole of the entire northern region. But because it is unfortunate that we will not see flags of Boko Haram or sects or people that are claiming to fight against the Nigerian state now being hosted in Borno state or any part of it. I think what the security personnel now have to do, or the state have to do, is to ensure that every part of Borno state, and by extension every part of the northern part of Nigeria, and extension also every part of Nigeria, is within the government and control of the Nigerian state. Because what we have in our hands now is a situation that we may even escalate or become or go beyond what you can manage. It is unacceptable that Boko Haram will host their flag and claim to be in charge of any part of the country. That's unacceptable. Thank you.
Democracy and rule of law. Now let's go to the other part of the security issue, where a popular Islamic scholar, Sheikh Abubakar Gumi, has called on the federal government to give bandits willing to make peace blanket amnesty if the current security situation must be tackled. Let me go to you. Do you believe, amnesty worked for Niger Delta, but do you think it will work for bandits? It obviously hasn't worked for Boko Haram. Really.
Boko Haram. So like I said, for a program to work, it must be well thought out, well planned, and well executed. If not, it will cause more harm than good. And that is basic reality. If you want to do that, so one is to ensure that each and every of the bandits ensure that to get as many leaders as possible together, and if that is the situation, if that is the strategy that they tend to adopt, get everyone together. And so what happens in an amnesty, I was saying earlier, is that after that program is conducted, any other person found is treated as a criminal and thoroughly dealt with. That is just the same way to make it work. But if you are doing it half-baked and doing it, and that's what we've been doing for Boko Haram, they did it half-baked. Some people are still some people are still out there, while some are taking this way, and it's not going to work. But I don't still feel that Nigerian army is powerless enough to begin to look for amnesty for Boko Haram. I just feel that the political will to fight them is just not there. Because a practical example was, we see what Chad did. When the president had to locate and say that until these people leave my soil, I'm not going back to my office.
He personally led the battle.
Personally led the battle
with 2 of his sons.
As in, he went and said that until they leave my country, I'm not going back to my office. That is the kind of political way they were looking for. But if it's not there, no matter strategy we adopt, because for instance, Boko Haram, they're almost everywhere. The party a friend of mine was managing, he knew that their megad was not Boko Haram. And it's been their megad for years.
Wow.
He was there, and you say he's going to the village. He's going to the war front. He'll go and fight. They come back and continue being the megad.
That's what I was saying.
So this thing is not something that you're saying that
they'll be resident in Lagos there.
They'll be anywhere. And they are active members on ground. So it's a problem that actually, that if that strategy we're adopting, let's adopt it full force and not do it half-baked, just do some of them are currently on scholarships abroad and enjoying and say that they're better Boko Haram members. While some are still on the way, that is not the way to do a proper
Okay, before I come to you, let me go to Ibadan and talk to Barrister Messina. Let me hear your view on that. Amnesty, do you think that will reduce the level of insurgency or insecurity, as it were, in the country?
Yes, just like my learned friend Babade have said, if amnesty is a program that the government wants to implement as a means of stopping the insecurity, I think it has to be well thought out, well planned, well structured, to have an aim, an ultimate aim. What do you intend to achieve with granted amnesty to the bandits? Is it to take care of the security situation or just for settlement purposes? I think we have to thought this out to be able to make sure that we achieve a good aim with it. Amnesty is a good plan. If actually well thought out, I think that will save us in the situation.
My take might be slightly different from those of my colleagues and all. The Niger Delta amnesty that we are talking about, is it really a success? As far as I'm concerned, it's not a success. What you have in the Niger Delta today is just piece of the graveyard. The day you stop paying those boys the monthly stipend that they get for doing nothing, you and I will see that those boys will come out again with the AK-47 and begin to bomb and blow up the pipelines in the Niger Delta. That program is simply not sustainable. That you will allow a group of people to be earning money for doing nothing over the years.
So you think it's a payout under the guise of amnesty?
Of course, that is what it is all about. For people of the up north, when people are used to the kind of thing that they are making, the kind of money that the bandits are making, including the Boko Haram and all that, millions kidnapping people on a daily basis and all that, it's really very difficult for them to embrace the kind of amnesty that we are talking about, especially when it is not well being thought out and structured the way and manner it should be structured. We have seen amnesty being granted several times. In Benin State, there was a time the warlord who was killed not too long ago by the army, they were all granted amnesty. After some that didn't they go back to the bush. The Katsina governor has severally granted amnesty to certain parties, didn't they go back to the bush. We have sent the Zamfara governor who is even giving them pick-up cows, pick-up vans now and cows and what have you and money as he stopped the banditry in Zamfara State.
Okay.
What the truth of the matter is that this amnesty thing, the way I manage these people in government and handling it, is just to create pecuniary benefit for certain persons and also enrich themselves.
Exactly. That's what most Nigerians have, tend to agree with you there, that it's another means to make money. Okay, now, but before we go, breaking news: a military aircraft that crashed a few yards off the runway at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja. In a tweet on Sunday, Hedi Sirike, the Minister of Aviation, confirmed the incident. The minister tweeted, and I quote, "A military aircraft, King Air 350, has just crashed short of our Abuja runway after reporting engine failure en route Mina." As at the time of this report, it was not clear how many persons were aboard the craft. Authorities of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, and military are yet to make statements regarding the tragic event. Okay, thanks for joining us on Democracy and the Rule of Law today. Thank you so much, Barrister Samuel Umesi, all the way from Ibadan. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, Barrister Tunde Kolawole.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, next week Sunday is another day on Galaxy Television, and the program is Democracy and the Rule of Law, and the time is 1 o'clock. I'm Solomon of Film. Good afternoon.